So something I wanted to talk about was something that we already know, and there's like no transparency whatsoever in the Republican Party. They don't tell us shit. I mean, apparently, uh, Mitch McConnell had a medical emergency something like 2 weeks ago, and as far as we know, he's in the hospital. Um, his staffers said he's getting great care, but we don't know what he's in the hospital for. We don't even know if he's even still alive. Now, I'm guessing he probably is, but he could be on life support. You know, tubes coming out of everything. But that's just my guess. It's just my good guess. So, um, and then of course there was what was his name? New Jersey Representative Keene, his last name, that had went MIA for nearly 4 months. Nobody heard from him. Nobody knew nothing about him. Nothing. Apparently, he has returned, though, now, and allegedly had checked himself into an inpatient mental health care center for apparent depression. Well, at least he was able to go and check himself in somewhere, because that's the difference between the kind of insurance that Congress has in comparison to the rest of us. Um, Excuse me, my nose is itching. And then, of course, there's Trump. Everybody on the planet knows that Trump's health is not great. I mean, he looks like he's got one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. I mean, and the truth is that tomorrow is never a guarantee. But apparently, the Iranian government had um, consulted with psychologists, and they did a psychological profile on Trump, which, in my opinion, I think that's probably the reason why this war hasn't escalated, because they now know that they're dealing with a dementia patient and someone that is, for all intents and purposes, clinically insane. But that's just my guess, because transparency, and the lack thereof when it comes to the Republican Party. And this has been the way they've been operating for quite some time. But, why do we need to know? I mean, they're just our elected representatives, that are taking care of the business of the people. And of course, this Representative Keene, while he was MIA in that 4 months' time, made over $200,000 in stock trades. So you're clinically depressed, but you're not depressed enough to not be able to make stock trades. So this is some crazy crap. I mean, seriously. And, it's like I said in a previous video, they have really shined a light on the amount of corruption in this government. It's It's scary pathetic, or pathetically scary. I don't know, but it's just not right. I mean, these are things. We got people, we can't afford to put gas in our cars, and we can't afford to eat. Of course, I don't look like I've missed a meal, but that's beside the point. But yet here they are. They're making millions on stock trades because of insider trading. There was another representative on the right. I don't know his name, and I don't particularly care. But he was being interviewed outside of the Capitol, and the interviewer asked him about, affordability in this country and the fact that people can't afford anything. And, especially with it getting ready to be a holiday, 4th of July, our 250th anniversary on Saturday. And this guy is so tone deaf. He's like, well, I'm going to go home and I'm going to eat me some lobster tails and some ribeyes. And, let's just rub our noses in it, because he apparently has just worked so hard. And I'll tell you, I busted my ass my whole life waiting tables. And that is hard work. Anyone says that that is not hard work or it's brainless work has never waited tables, has never worked in the service industry. And again, neither here nor there. But our government right now, we have a president that is protecting, and a Congress that is protecting pedophiles. And the only reason why they're doing that is because these pedophiles, pedos happen to be incredibly rich. So we just have to protect the rich people. To hell with everybody else. And of course, on Tuesday, the Supreme Court reinforced the 14th Amendment, um, birthright citizenship. And of course, they're wanting it to be not what it is. But they came back and they found that, yeah, birthright citizenship is a thing. You're born here, you're a citizen. Unless, of course, you're born to parents that are, diplomats from another country. And then you're not. But, I mean, all persons born or naturalized in the United States is subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States and of the state where they reside. Right in the Constitution, right here, the United States Constitution, along with the First Amendment. And of course, that's the 14th Amendment. So it's right here. What I think every person living here in America should get themselves a copy of the United States Constitution and read it. Because we're just having so many issues. People on the far right saying that this is a Christian nation It's not, okay? It was not founded as a Christian nation, and that is right there in the First Amendment, too. Congress shall pass no laws, and I will find it. Aha, right here. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech. It's right there in the First Amendment. That says, as plain as the nose on anyone's face, separation of church and state. No laws respecting an establishment of religion. And it doesn't matter what religion. Christianity, Judaism, Hindu, Satanism. That is a hands off when it comes to the government. Separation of church and state. That's the First Amendment. 14th Amendment, which we just discussed, which was just talked about in the Supreme Court. You're born here, you're an automatic citizen. Period. So, left, right, center, it doesn't matter. The Constitution is the Constitution, it's the law of the land. And the highest court in the land just reaffirmed it, reaffirmed what we already knew. And of course, Trump was trying to get the Supreme Court to nullify the lawsuit that E. Jean Carroll brought, where he was found liable for sexual assault of E. Jean Carroll back in the 90s, and he was trying to get him to drop it. They said, no, we're not going to. Too bad, so sad. And then, of course, Trump is saying that he's going to fight it. Fight it where? He was just at the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the land, so there's no place else to go. Supreme Court is the glass ceiling. But anyway, these are just my opinions, how I feel about certain things. The Supreme Court things, not my opinion. Those are statements of fact. But it's also, of course, as I've said, my rant. And I'm going to end this now. Yay! But before I do, I'm going to say it again. Hit like, subscribe, comment, and share. Help my little YouTube channel get a little bigger. I'd appreciate it. So, on that note, my internet friends, please take care of yourselves wherever you are.